Hello and welcome to our channel. So this time last year, I was in the third trimester with my son. And so I want to talk a little bit about what my experience was. You may or may not have some of the same things happen to you that happened to me. So the first trimester, I had like a lot of morning sickness and I could definitely pass as potentially not looking like I was pregnant. Second trimester, I was definitely looking like I was pregnant, but I was feeling pretty good, looking pretty good. And then third trimester, at one point, I was just kind of like, okay, I am super, super looking like I'm pregnant, ready to drop. And I still have maybe like a month left to go. So some of the things that started happening in the third trimester for me, I noticed that when I was sleeping, I was drooling a lot, and that was not something that I had previously done. I was also having some nightmares occur. So most of them, they were fears about, I guess, like after giving birth or like with the baby. So little things like that creeping in. I had also gotten diagnosed with the gestational diabetes. So the bad dreams could have also had something to do with my sugars. I did a separate video about the gestational diabetes, and I didn't have to take any type of medicine, but I did have to check my blood sugar multiple times a day. And I had to meet with the nutritionist and really kind of focus on that. It was interesting. At one point, I thought the baby was going to be coming early, and they say to kind of like stock up on meals if you can, and I just did not have time for that. So I just grabbed like 40 lean cuisines and shoved them in my freezer because we thought the baby was going to be like 2 weeks early. So ended up not happening. But another thing that happened, I had a lot of blue vascularity kind of like all in the chest area. So I guess just because of like milk coming in or preparing to come in, a lot of fluid going to that area. As my stomach was getting larger, I was having a lot of itchiness around like the bigger, larger part of my stomach. I was getting the red type of wormy looking stretch marks on my sides. I was also getting some burning type of pain right under my bra line. I also noticed that there was a lot of cellulite that was starting to show up, and I was having like a lot of trouble, just like a lot of extra exertion, I guess, like with breathing, just going up the steps, doing simple things, I guess because the baby's pressing on like something that has to do with how you're breathing or something. So that got a lot tougher. It was, as the baby got bigger, it was almost impossible to put my own shoes on, tie my own shoes. That was really difficult. So I had to get really creative, especially like bending down and pick something up. You kind of have to almost like do like a split type thing to like get down or like lean on something to become like a tripod. So that became difficult. I started to sound a lot more nasally, I also noticed. And you definitely have to pee like every 5 seconds. It's so hard to get comfortable in bed at night. It's so hard to sleep. And I feel like between having to get up to go to the ladies' room and it being uncomfortable to sleep, I feel like it's partly like your body helping you prepare for those nights where when the baby's born, having to get up multiple times a night and making sure the baby's fed and taken care of. So you're not gonna get, or at least I didn't get a lot of sleep towards the end for sure. Also getting a lot of different pains. So one of the pains was called round ligament pain, and another one was like a jolt of pain. They call it like lightning crotch. So that's like a fun thing that can happen. I guess letting you know that the baby's going to be preparing to come soon. There'll be potentially a lot of discharge. So I did have some bleeding and some other discharge going on. So my doctor ended up seeing me, and at that point they did think that the baby was going to be coming early. At that point, I think was like 1 centimeter dilated, but you can be like 1 centimeter dilated for a while. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be coming at that point, but you just never know. So I was quite active. I tried to go to the gym as long as I could, maybe up until, I want to say I did my last cycling class maybe like a month before the baby was born or something like that. But then I kind of got scared that I was going to have my water break in public or while exercising or something like that. So, and then especially once we thought the baby was coming early, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll just chill. So then I kind of put my feet up a lot more often, and I think that solved it a little bit, but then I also think it shifted something in my back because then I started having a lot of back pain. So the baby was due December 3rd, and then I think it was November 27th or 29th when my belly button officially popped. So that's something that can also happen. Yeah, and then of course all the time, well, I was reading the baby books, but I was also Googling all the time, well, what are the signs and symptoms if you're going to labor, just thinking about all the time. There can be some leaking just because of like the fluid moving around. So you can expect a little bit of that at nighttime. So many times I woke up thinking, oh my gosh, my water broke. But it had not. It's actually a lot more water than that too. And then I was trying to take advantage of the time that I had at the end to read the baby books, prepare as much as I could, get the nursery ready. And it's a lot and you're tired. Depending on what state that you live in, you might be able to take the month before you're due off as disability leave. So in my state of New Jersey, I was able to take advantage of that. So once I got diagnosed with the gestational diabetes, and then it was a month before, I filled out the paperwork so I could do that. So I did take the month before. And again, I used that time to prepare as much as I could, read those baby books, and just try to get as settled as I could for that baby boy. I also was having some feelings of anxiety and just being overwhelmed. And then there was a period of time where I was having for like hours a sharp pain under my rib. So I got that checked out, and they said it could be like a slipped rib type thing, or which is, I forget exactly what that meant, but also could have been that my son's feet were just kind of kicking in that area. So a lot of different things can be going on. And yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much a lot of what was going on third trimester, not quite everything. And it might not be the same for the next person as what happened to me, but just some things that might happen. The other thing I took advantage of was doing the Mighty Mama movement class, I think it was called. And so I had to do with like natural birthing, hypnobirthing, just all types of different things to expect when you're supposed to be going into labor, and then different options that you have out there. And then it provided access to a Facebook online group. So it has all women who've taken that course, and then it has experiences that they went through, questions, and also about their children now. So they post pictures if they're not sure about something, and then the moderators also provide information on there. So that's actually been super helpful because there are a lot of things that I had questions about, and then you can search. So if you have a question about something, it's just like another piece of information that you can have at your fingertips. So I thought that was really great to take advantage of. So otherwise you could do like a baby class, a birthing class. There's so many different options. And there are also different pieces of advice if you are ready for the baby to come and are trying to either speed up that process or slow down that process to help with the birthing situation. So definitely things to think about. So, but if you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And then otherwise, we'll see you next time.